Okay guys, so today we are gonna be doing another lesson, okay? So first off, we're gonna start off with the small story. I'm gonna tell you guys a story. I'm gonna tell you guys a story about when I was in junior high. So junior high is middle school, right? So you guys are almost gonna be going to middle school in a few years. But when I was younger and I went to junior high, you start getting a lot of classes. So when you go to junior high, you have like 6 or 7 classes, and you have different teachers for those classes. So when I was in junior high, I had a teacher that I remembered that my sister used to have, and my sister told me, oh my goodness, I cannot believe you have, her name was Miss Collins. She's like, I can't believe you have Miss Collins. She's like, that's a really neat teacher. And I was so scared. And then I heard some of my other friends said, oh, I'm so glad I don't have her. They're saying, oh my goodness, you have her? That's horrible. And I was so scared, and I was thinking, oh my goodness, I don't want this teacher. I don't like this teacher. And when I went into her classroom, I was really, really, really nervous. And I thought, just by looking at her, when I was younger, I thought she was older. She was an older lady, so she had some white hair, some glasses, and I thought, oh no, she's gonna be really mean, maybe like an old grouchy lady. So I thought, oh no, I don't want this class. And I said, she's gonna be such a mean teacher. She's not a good teacher. She's a mean teacher. She doesn't like kids. I don't want her. And then when I went to her class, I had to go. I sat down, and a few days went by, maybe like a week, and I realized, and I was like, hey, this isn't so bad. And I thought, I don't think she's such a bad teacher after all. And I thought, maybe the kids and maybe my sister were wrong. So then I thought to myself, and I was thinking,
if 6 people leave,
were they correct? And I'm thinking, maybe I should keep coming to this class. And because I wanted my mom to change me the class. I wanted her to go and change me to a different teacher, but I thought maybe I could keep coming to this class and see how I like it. And I ended up really, really liking that class, and I thought she was one of my favorite teachers. So I realized that she ended up being nicer than I thought. And I realized that I was very happy in her class, and that she was a good teacher. And I realized that she only cared about her students, and that's why sometimes she would get some of her students in trouble when they were doing the correct thing. And I realized that maybe I should have got to know her before even going in my own head, right, and thinking, oh, I hate this class. It's gonna be the worst time ever in junior high. I can't believe this is happening to me, right? So then I realized, right, I'm gonna write that really quick right here. I realized she was a nice teacher, right?
2 more children came to play.
I realized, and then I also said I realized that maybe I should get to know her, right? Maybe I should
Which one of these means to
know her
take away?
before, maybe we could say before judging her, right?
Tim Aston,
Okay. So I wrote these 2 sentences right here, right? So this was that was my story, right? I thought I was gonna have a really bad experience with another teacher, right? So I realized that she was a nice teacher, right? And then I have this other one here. I realized that maybe I should know her before judging her, right? Or before jumping to conclusions. So looking at these little sentences here that I wrote about my little story that I just told you guys, what do you guys think was the lesson of my story? What did I learn from it? What was the lesson? Marlon, thank you for raising your hand.
Okay, well hers is April 28th. What day of the week is that?
You have to know somebody before judging them, okay? Anybody else? What do you guys think was the moral or lesson of the story? Do you guys agree with Marlon? Aiden, thank you for raising your hand.
All right.
It's okay. Mia, do you want to add anything to it? What do you think, looking at these sentences? Marlon said that maybe we should get to know people before judging them.
Yeah.
Do you agree with him? Yes, Mia?
Yeah.
You agree with him? Yes. Aiden? And be kind to other teachers, right? Because we don't even know the teacher, right? So Marlon was spot on with this, right? The moral of my story, or the lesson, is that we shouldn't judge people, right, without getting to know them first. Because just like how I thought that my teacher was gonna be mean and I was gonna hate my school year, and I wanted my mom to change me classes, and I thought it was gonna be so horrible, and it ended up being one of my favorite teachers, right? So I realized, right, that I learned my lesson from what I learned, that I was like, oh, maybe just like Martin said, we shouldn't judge people without getting to know them first, okay? So that goes along with the lesson, the lesson that we're going to be doing today, okay? So today we're going to be reading a book. I'm going to be reading it to you guys. I have this book here. It's a really good book. It's called Last Stop on Market Street. We're going to be reading this book, and then we're going to be looking at the text, right? The text means we're going to be just looking at the words and what it says in here, and we're going to use that to find what the moral or the lesson, right, is about this story. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. But before doing that, okay, we're gonna go ahead and do some vocabulary words. But once we're done with the book and the lesson, we're gonna be able to answer questions throughout the story. You guys are gonna be able to read the story and understand the moral of it, right? Just like how we did with my story. And then you guys are gonna be able to read and restate what happened in the beginning, middle, and the end, about how that helped us find the moral of the story too, right? But first, before that, we're gonna go ahead and do some vocabulary words. Vocabulary words are really important because these are some words that we're gonna come across on the book, and in the book there's some words that we might not know or we're unfamiliar with, so we're going to do those really quick so when we come across them that we know what the words are, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and give you guys the worksheet here. This one, you guys, yes, so I'm gonna give you guys this worksheet here. Oops, let me get you guys pencils. And what this is a vocabulary worksheet. Go ahead and get a pencil now. Here are some erasers if you guys need them. Thank you for passing them. So what we're gonna do, this is a vocabulary worksheet that we have from the Last Stop on Market Street. There is our vocabulary words with our definitions, okay? So the definitions tell us what they mean. They are fill in the blank, right? So they're on each definition, there is words that are missing, either one or two words, okay? So I'm gonna show you guys the definitions, and we are gonna fill in the blank and we're gonna go over them, okay? So just make sure you do write your name on the top for me.
For the local pizzeria. One day he delivered 3 pizzas to the Browns,
Mia, did you get a
8
pencil?
pizzas to the Gomez family, and 4 pizzas to the Troys. How many pizzas did he deliver?
So let's go ahead and get started, okay? So our first sight word, if you guys look at
Just read it.
your paper, it says patter. That means to make a repeated light tapping sound. So that means just right, a repeated light tapping sound. Right? We're not gonna be, that's not tapping, right? It's just, yeah, we're not doing that, right? So this would be our first one right here, patter. Make a repeated light tapping sound, right? That would just be like that. Yes, so this would be our first one, right? So we're gonna go ahead and fill in the blanks. So the blank, what you would be filling in, okay? So that's what
You know what time this clock shows.
we are doing. Okay, so patter, right? That means just making a light
It's okay.
tapping sound repeatedly.
Alright.
Okay.
Here are 6 pigs.
So the next one that we
Pigs
have
join them. So
is
there are 10
lurched.
altogether.
Okay. So
How many
lurch means an
pigs join them?
uncontrolled movement or series of movements. This pretty much means moving around. Okay, so this would be our second one here.
Oh, it does. Okay.
Excuse me, so
Alright,
uncontrolled
maybe
movements,
probably.
right? When you
Okay,
can't
so
control
there's
them,
6
or you
pigs.
just keep moving and
So
moving and
more
moving.
pigs join
So
them,
that's what
so that there are 10
that one would be.
altogether.
Okay.
How many pigs join them?
And then we have freckled. Freckled just means it's covered with freckles, right? Or if they said, oh, my shirt is freckled, that just means it has a lot of little dots everywhere, right? Just kind of like you imagine freckles on somebody's arm, face, right? It just means they're covered with freckles, right? So that means freckled. So that would be that one, okay? So go ahead and write those down.
Got some letters or words.
And then we have our next word. We have sighed, right? Sighed just means a long, deep, audible breath right? Which expresses either sadness, relief, or tiredness. And we all have heard a sigh, I'm pretty sure. It could maybe you guys heard it in a movie or with your friends, right? Because when they go, exactly just like Marlon did, right? And it could express many things. It could express maybe sadness, relief, if you're tired, or other feelings similar to that. Okay, the next one that we would have is plucking, right? Plucking means to take a hold of something and quickly remove it from its place, right? So for example, if you just have this eraser here and I just pluck it, right? Or when they say like a bird is plucking its feathers, right? It's just plucking its feathers very quickly. So that's what plucking means, okay? So plucking, that's one of the ones that we would have to, that we would come across in the story. So I'll give you guys a few seconds to write that down. It's okay. Let me see. Right here. Two up, this one right here. Okay, we're gonna do that one would be this one right here. So this one right here. This one right here. Okay, perfect. We're gonna do our last one. Okay. Give me 1 second. And then our last one. Sorry if I went a little bit out of order. Okay, I'm gonna put these right over here. And our last ones, it says creaked, right? Creaked means to make a harsh, high-pitched noise, a sound, right? When it's being moved by weight or pressure is applied. So let's say if maybe you have a desk outside or a heavy table and it's outside on the concrete and you push it and it's gonna make a little screech sound, right? And it's gonna sound really, really loud. So that's what that means, okay? Just go ahead and fill this one in right here. This one in right here, okay? So it just means a high-pitched voice. I'm sorry, not voice, a sound. A harsh, high-pitched sound. High-pitched just means that it's super, super loud and kind of this. Okay?
Okay, so how many cookies are here? Can you write that on the line for me, please? On this line here. How many apples are there?
Okay. Okay,
And can you make
that's
2 marks
We're
like
gonna
this
go
one
ahead
in the
and
box here?
hold that
2 marks.
there.
And 5 marks like this one.
It's okay. So right now we're focusing on our vocab words, okay? So now that we have done our vocabulary words, we have gone over them, right? So remember, pattern means just a light tapping sound, right? So that's all the vocabulary words that might be unfamiliar when we go throughout the story, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and collect your papers. Go ahead and put your pencils back for me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start with our book, okay? So this book, it's called Last Stop on Market Street, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and read it to you guys. Just make sure you're paying attention. So the Last Stop on Market Street, okay? So here we have some medals that they have won because it's such a good book, right? We see a little kid with his grandma and on the bus.
Okay, so 5 stars